Okay, I'll start off very slow because you guys, usually when I do the opener, and then it takes a while for people to get the notification and such, I'm already kind of, in the mood, as it says, or as they say. Probably going to be stumbling around my words once again. Here we are at another late night activity, and I'm not so unhappy with this pullback. I think that we read it pretty well. I think that the thing that would be more informed, though, because this seems to me like for me anyway, it was an easy read to get us down to 13,000. It's a little tougher of a read to showcase some of the what are called the scarier numbers that are down below. And a lot of us have these numbers on our charts. A lot of us are constantly reminded of what the potential is of any of these pullbacks. And as once again, I think it was just a news related day. There was some, congestion around the news. And I think that maybe we're a little confused about, who's on and who's off and who's at threat and who's going to be arrested. And I just think that we're just completely acting irrational. And I'm hearing people going long when the trade is clearly short. I'm hearing people putting on significant risks. And there's no need for any of that. Okay. And, but let me kind of try and give you guys a little bit of an idea of what I do believe is happening. If you're looking at the BTC USD Coinbase pair, which I've had the tick by tick up a little bit here, you'll notice that the Bollinger Bands do this really clever thing. It's called a squeeze. And as it squeezes, it looks for resolution to one side or the other. And of course, in this case, the resolution is the downside. There are other RSI readings and so forth that we can see in this trade. It took it all the way to the 80 base, which is a Cardwell read. That's the overbought area, the 80 base. And then there's the 20 base down right here, which is the oversold area. And there's other fractals in between. There's the 40, the 55, which is this line right there, and the 60, which is that line right there. I know you can't really see it. It's okay. Believe you me, they're on there. And if you want to do your own RSI down below the chart, you could do two RSIs and migrate one over the other or merge one over the other, which would give you all of the settings. The 20, for example, you could do a 20, 55, 80, and secure that, and then open up another RSI and open it up for the 40. I would do the 55 so that you can get a good clean reading. Here's the flush here. 35 and 80, if I have those numbers right, but you know what I mean. And then you merge one above the other, and then you would have the full, at least the elementary RSIs that Cardwell teaches. And so you might want to give that a try. Our chart, of course, is a beta chart, as we are examining whether or not we can put all of these readings on a single plot. That's what this is all about. Can it be done? How can we change it to make it more legible? Can it be more legible to follow his teachings? So it's a little modern twist on it. But if you want more information about Andrew Cardwell, I'm more than happy to make that introduction to you. Of course, he is behind a paywall, et cetera, et cetera. And just reach out to me and I can make that introduction. So let me see where we're at with the hangout here. Okay, so I'm on mic, so that's good. As you're wondering, am I crazy or beauty not? What? How come we can't hear beauty? So I always get a giggle out of that, because then after about 5 minutes, and some of you are saying, I can't stand her. I can't stand listening to her anymore. And then, of course, there's other people that, it would be really grand if I had, the perfect mic setup and the pop filter and the little MIDI and and everything so that I can make some of the ums and ahs and that sort of thing go away when I'm bringing my content to you live. But here we go for another flush. The Bollinger Bands are literally, they're blooming out, and it's allowing for price to move outside of the bands. And of course, price will seek to come back inside of the bands. But when you're in it right now, you'll notice that the 20 base is migrating at the same time. Is one of the cool things about this particular piece of code is that we know that price has a tendency to do what's called coiling, especially when it's in the 20, or it's in the 20, which is the oversold, or it's in the 80 in the overbought. But as a trader, you don't want to get into that trade too early if you're trying to do the counter. So the coiling RSI helps us evaluate whether or not it's a good time to get in. Of course, the RSI numbers give you that as well, which is the area on the left-hand side of the chart that you have a hard time reading because of all the ads that the TradingView has. But that's what's going on. And so we'll notice people, whether it's people or bots or interested persons that understand the oversold technique, they will go ahead and they will get in. Some will wait for the zero number to come in, and they won't. They're not interested. They're not interested in the 20 base. They're much more interested in the scarier trade, which is the zero, because the zero can even go into the negative area. So you're always hunting, as you can hear in the tone of my voice. You're always looking for lows to highs if that's your nature of trading. Of course, we know that this is a Ruby short. It has been a Ruby short. So anything that we're seeing that's bouncing, remember this is the 1 minute, anything that we're seeing that's bouncing down below, these are tenured traders, these are scalpers, these are bots that are built for this kind of activity. They're very short-lived. They will go for the win and the kill all with one blade. So remember that. They will go for the win and the kill with one blade. And so it's a very kamikaze style. That is what they are built to do. It takes a certain personality. It takes a certain wherewithalness and certain kind of contemplation about how you're going to execute, how you're going to get in, right? We all know that we know anybody can get in, and they know when to get in. And of course, their whole motive is how to get out. And they will put volatility on the trade. They'll put spin on the trade. They'll go in, they'll come out, they'll go back in, they'll come out. And this is what their life is like. The life of a scalper is amazingly difficult and highly profitable. But as you all know, in my disclaimer, I alert everyone that all of it is risky. No matter what your technique is, all of it is very, very risky. It's rewarding. It's fantastic vocation for those of you that are coming into the trade for the first time. It's a very intoxicating one because it provides freedom of some sort, meaning that you feel as though because you're working on a computer that you have some sort of control, that somehow the computer gives you self-control. But actually the trade in itself will sort you out. And I'm supposed to talk about this a little bit more tonight. I just don't know if I have. Sometimes I'll get, what's called the, what do they call it when you get the spirit, that you need to talk about this one particular part of trading, and that you want to make sure that, the listener and the replay listener, and even I learned from having and repeating the narrative, which, all traders need to do. All traders need to have their own narrative, their own rules, their own set of boundaries, their own knowledge of who they are, their ego, what their how strong they are, how willing, how attentive, how well their brain works. All of these things have to be working together. So, and not one does it better than the other. And by the way, it doesn't take, there's traders that come in, they don't have any years of experience, although there's some traders that won't even talk to you. Literally, they will not talk to you unless you have 10 years of experience, because it's just too difficult. It's very difficult for a senior trader or a tenured trader. For example, we've been in the trade for over 10 years. It's very difficult to then all of a sudden during your day to engage on any level with someone that has less than 10 years of experience. And I can remember the first time that I heard that, and we had only been trading for about 2 years. And I was like, dang, that's harsh. Like on any other level, right? Talking about horticulture or architecture or, where we were all going to go on holiday. That's one thing. Okay. It doesn't, but when it came to the trade, it was like hands off. Unless you have 10 years, they did not want to engage in any conversation whatsoever. I just found that really fascinating, but I do understand it better now. Once you've put the time in, like I'm known as the $1 billion candle hunter. I've seen 1 billion candles. I've seen probably more than $1 billion worth of trading happen in my experience. And well, clearly I have. But watching the candles and knowing, being alert to them and documenting them, which is one of the reasons for the YouTube channel, right? I'm not a teacher. I come to YouTube to really journal what it is that I am seeing and have it documented on YouTube. At least one person can document it so that we can go back and challenge ourselves, put it on super speed or what have you, and just challenge ourselves to see whether or not we're registering. Do we know enough? And then if you see something that you don't know enough, then you're able to go back and look at, there's plenty of fantastic books. There's really cool people on the internet that you can follow. But generally, my outreach is like guru free. I come to you guru free. There's no guru going on here. There's no yogi going on here, because it's all really, really tough work. And what I think about the trade can be completely opposite to what another person thinks. I do know, however, with the tools that I use generally, that if I hear someone shouting, literally shouting in rooms, big rooms too, to go long when clearly the trade is short and he knows that the trade is short, then of course I do step in and I do try and be a little bit of a mother goose, which is annoying as hell. But to let people know, dudes, seriously now, the trade, what's called the condition of the trade. And there are other professionals, other pros that are out there that could, all come together. But it seems as though that there's a social metaphor for herd and horde, and there's a lot of bad actors out there that are getting you involved in for shit trades. Okay, and when it's clearly where the trade is either in a no trade, or it is clearly and has been short, and yet there's no caution put on it. They'll just scream at you, go long. 700 people, 17,000 people that they're screaming at to go long. And actually traders will actually take those trades. And, you have to make the one to make these decisions. No one should be enforcing your idea about that decision. You need to be giving yourself the time to make the best decision for you, for your family, for your trade, for what you've worked so hard at accumulating, or whatever the the balance of thought is. Okay, let me see what else I can share. Let me go on over, because you guys aren't saying anything now over in chat. So we'll just do this. Is called candle over candle congestion at the 20 base, and we can actually I call it dough footing. We can actually dough foot down here for a while. So, I'll stay live for another little bit. Maybe if you guys have some questions, and then I'll run through all the different ways that you can reach out to me and some of the cool things that we're trying to do as a crew of people that care for one another and enjoy charting and chatting and connecting with each other. That's why it's called ChartChatConnect. And just little by little, maybe we'll be able to build a crew of people that are interested in many different disciplines: technology, news, risk management, charting, coding, just like it was in the early days of 2013 when the very first ChartChatConnect went live as a hangout. And so that's what I hope that will happen by me rebirthing these brands, as I've been working very hard at since few months, I guess November or so, that I decided that, okay, this is enough. I think I had heard the last um, foul mouth pig sounds coming out of one of these forums, and there were children in the room. And I really had to stop and think, what am I doing having them control my outreach, my voice? Who are they to say to me that I have no value when they're sitting in a room with a 52-inch curved television set or whatever GD thing, and they're yelling pig-like obscenities in front of their children who are crying? That is not a traitor. I will tell you that. That is not a traitor that has learned anything about the work that we do. I'm telling you, I'm being very direct about this. It's not about personality. So here we go. The congestion over congestion is looking for a little bit of liftoff. And so we could fill the Bollinger. And let's see what's going to happen. So that candle over candle, these are good areas at the 20 base to pick up. Once again, the trade is still short. There has been no reversal of that. And what we've been doing since I've been live is trying to locate where the markings are to really hold the trade steady so that it can take the next move up beyond and out of this short situation, if that's meant to be. Okay, so questions, guys, and thumbs. If you're in the stream, just thumbs up if you don't mind. I'll do the classic thing. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not, my intentions aren't some kind of freaky thing. You're supposed to let YouTube know that you're here by thumbs upping the content, by sharing out the stream if you dare do that, or take the URL and put it in one of your other forums. I guess I'm internet famous. I guess one of the forums, some kind of a raid forum, got our link, and then they came into the Discord and really caused some havoc there. So I guess maybe we're a little bit, I guess the stream finds its way. It might have been from the title. I think they came in under the BitConnect when we were simply reading the BitConnect the cease and desist filing with very little op-ed added onto it, and they came in through the disconnect, and all of the ChartChatConnect is gone. They came in, they realized that the ChartChatConnect on Discord did not have permissions, as it was that I thought I was creating an open source environment, so no one ever felt as though there was something that they couldn't do if they wanted to do it. They warned me, and I just basically said, well, is that what you're here to do, is to steal? Well, we can. Oh, well, if that's what you're here to do, now if you're not here to do that, then that's cool. Then you should just leave us be. But that wasn't, they came in to take, and they did. So we've rebuilt under the BeautyBubble. And so what I find is really funny is that people are less inclined to come into one of my rooms because, it's called the BeautyBubble. But we have one main chat area. It's called ChartChatConnect. We have a glossary that's being built out. And the other thing I built out today was links, so that we have a full and robust area for links. Some of the links that I put out today really are copy and paste of other, really just, big link things that I find. This one was a shout out from Fluffy Pony, looking for some sort of a curated site where he could see the ICOs coming up. I believe that that's what he was trying to look for. So I put a nice deep list from all the people that responded to him. And I should go back over there to see if there's anything that I lost from that. But like sites like bitcoinforks.io, Coindar, let me see, crypto calendars. What other ones did I find? Coin Pro, just different ones. I'll go back over there. But sometimes when the big sticks will come out and ask Twitter for help, there can be, it's about a 60% win rate with people that are trying to, help and show off what they know and give some cool things back to the big stick. So I grabbed all of that. So things like that. But just three text channels and 2 voice channels. One is a talk to the founder channel, which is myself, and the other one is talk to the members voice channel, and that's it. Everyone is a doer, and then I am the only one that has and holds all of the commands, you know. So I think that I have a better, it may feel like it's heavy-handed, but it actually takes all of the need to manage the moderators. So there's no moderators. You know, you're either a good person or you're not a good person, and it will soon show, I suppose. And I don't see any reason that we can't maintain the no ban, no mute, no flag, no report attitude for the 3 months that will be open. We'll be open January, and you're already coming into almost 2 weeks into January, February, and March. And then April 1st, we will close it down. Literally, I will go in and everyone will be removed. And then we'll take a look at what we have, maybe put together a Medium article, or maybe even a little ebook about all the things that we were able to gather and give everyone, you know, acknowledgement and that sort of thing. It's just an idea that I have. And then after a couple of weeks, followed after that, then we'll come back and we'll go live again. And so it's kind of like it's like a really cool place to be. It's not a long-lived kind of situation. It's not where it's going to degrade. It's 3 power-packed months, and then we're just going to see how that kind of works. We're going to see how Discord works. Okay, so we're at the top of the Bollinger. Let me bring this chart out a little bit so you guys can maybe get a better idea of what's going on. I think maybe it might be a little too in there. So we can see we're in the 1 minute, right? And we'll go into the 5 minute. And let me make sure that I know where the live button is. There it is. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. So here's the marker that we put where could this be the candle that was going to hold the move? Could it be? And so now we are getting higher lows. So this is a pretty good sign that if, and it's starting to do that, a little bit of a fractal nature. You'll notice the left shoulder, the apex, and the right shoulder's being put in right now. And so really the area that we have to focus on is the 13.72327. This is when, if the trade is to start to build up more strength and try and recover from this pullback, it will do it right there at the 13.72327 line. So once again, there's our marker low. And what we can do here is go ahead and kind of mark this off, if you guys don't mind. And we're not going to be really, we're not going to tax ourselves too much with being perfect here. But anyway, there it is, higher lows. I think you guys can see that. Higher lows. And then the other area is a 13.723, which has actually been put in as a pivot. And if we come down here, there was another pivot low that was put in here. Now we selected this bar because of this, the style of the bar, but we could go down to pivot, include this bar, and then come through, come through right there. And so it will go from here. Let me see if I can mark this off. I think you guys would really enjoy seeing this, how it happens live. So we come through the pivot. Just go ahead and draw this line across as easily as we can. And as price fills in this area, this is an ascending pattern, an ascending wedge. It's a heavy weight, though, at 13.723. A very heavy weight. And so price has to fill this in. And then price has to decide to be motivated. If it is, it will gain strength at the 13.723. Can you guys see that? Let's make sure you guys can see that. Are you able to see any of that, you guys? If you don't participate in the chat, I won't know, okay? Let me know. We've been streaming, I think, over an hour now. It's 10 minutes after 1 o'clock on the East Coast. Okay, Maverick, cool enough. So we're just going to let the trade run. And thank you, Crypto Watchdog. we're just going to let the trade kind of run and digest, but now kind of you guys have an idea as far as how you can mark off your trade so that you can evaluate whether or not it's something that you want to, put risk on, or whether or not you're, are you trying to recover from maybe a position that has gone too deep and you're looking for signs, will it recover, will it not recover? And then you can kind of start to tailor your approach and your thesis about what you think, the trade is up to. We know that the 243, which is the blue line up above, I'll show you a little technique that you can do on any EMA. And we'll do the same thing. We're going to grab that trend line. I'm using this tool a lot more. And what you do is that you just, just run it through like that. And so the likelihood is that unless price starts to push the EMA up, the 243 will start to really barrel down. That means that there's a lot of pressure. I wish I had a better tool for this. I need to find like a really good, like a big fatty arrow or something. I'm gonna go here and see what happens when I do this. Okay, let me go like this and make a big. And then what'll happen here is that this will apply a lot of pressure, okay, against this delicate recovery right here. And it'll come in here, it'll keep pushing down. People will think, oh, that's the time to get in. What will happen is that the resolution will be again for the double bottom. Now this may actually end up being a triple bottom. We'd have to look and see, but you can imagine that 243 starts to put a lot of pressure on price. Of course, the Bollinger Bands haven't expanded. Let's imagine that is happening, so price doesn't really have anywhere to go. It will fill in this area here, just churn and burn in here until it exhausts itself, and I'll roll over to the double bottom. Now, something that I haven't been doing for you guys that I really need to start doing is that there's two sides. There's two things, right? There's really three things that can happen. Number one, that the trade becomes inert. Okay, dust. We saw this with Litecoin this past weekend. Dusty for hours on end, just churns. There's no volatility. No one's interested in this, and then it just spits out forever and ever until it decides that it wants to make a move. Okay, so we had done markings to the upside, and I show Crypto Watchdog this, what happened with the Litecoin. We had done the markings for the upside resolution, but if you can believe it, those same markings, when we cloned it, matched to the penny for the downside result. And so this is the thing that, and you guys need to be more, you can mention to me, hey, Beauty, you didn't give us the other side. I mean, I don't always have time to give you the other side, but something that you should know is that when you have a thesis, you have to suspend your own belief and make sure that you've got a thesis for what could happen on the other side. Not just to say, but nobody knows what's going to happen, but actually have a thesis that draws a conclusion about both scenarios, okay? Go ahead and take that off so you can see where the 243 is right there. There's our pivot line right there. And then here's our trend line off of pivot on trend. So you guys can kind of see all that, I hope. I hope that helped, the way that I did that with that big arrow. So just let me know if that was instructive. Okay. Well, what we can do too is because it's always more fun to watch it in the 1 minute, I suppose. Zoom. Get this in over here so you guys can see. And get into the 1 minute. There's the Elliott 5, that little minuet. It speaks of the end of this little bit of a run off of the pivot now. You see the pivot down here. 13,100. And so the little Elliots that are drawn here speaks of the end of that run. The expectation is that it will pull back. We have the 55 base right here. It can slam into the 55 base or the median, one of the two. And then we get a fractal. Maybe you guys are going to actually be able to see that actually live happen. It's one little fractal off of the high and everything being pinned off of this pivot. This is why you have to be careful. You have to be cautious and patient for a trade to come to you. You cannot force a trade. Let the trade come to you. So, all right, we'll leave it on the 1 minute. Let me run over to Ruby, see what Ruby's doing on the 1 minute even. Even when you're in this kind of a trade, you can still also Fibonacci, like a bar like this, and do a progressive. And of course, what we want to do is try to at least keep it to a 382. Let me go ahead and do just a quick high to low. And we want to kind of try and keep the trade. See, the trade breached, came back really hard actually. So it's recovering now, but that's not too sure. I don't know what to think about that. The trade is coming back around. It looks like it does have to stay in this area though. Let's see how it's doing that right now. But you can also Fibonacci a 1 minute if you need to get more information. Go back over here to see what happened. So there's that fractal push, right? And the fact that it skipped off the median here, as the median goes through the 55 base, look at the 243 pick up here too. 243 is about to really slam into Bollinger. Okay. All right, let me put myself back on mute. The trade's at 13,501, down 9.24%, and we've got just a lot of really cool technical things that are happening in the trade right now. The big next move, of course, is how it's going to act. How is it going to act over the 243? Okay. All right, so everybody's fine. We're just going to settle in, and I'll be putting myself on mute if you guys are cool with that. And we'll just do the tick by tick and the 1 minute Coinbase BTC USD pair. I'll be over at the Discord doing a couple of little housekeeping things, make some markings on these charts that I put in, and so forth, so I can see you over there too. But thanks a lot, guys. Okie doke. So I think what we'll do is we're going to close it down. Thank you for the people that are watching and also to the replay viewers that carried it through almost 2 hours now for the stream to be live. But it's time for me to wrap it up. Make sure that you check all things in the description box. It's a deep read. I get it. I get it. But it explains the backstory of, what in the world I'm up to and some of the cool things that we're involved in. Make sure that you reach out to me on Twitter. My DMs are open. That's a great way for you to get the Discord invite that is being sent out. And there are roles over at my Discord that everyone has kind of a place and a seat over at the Discord, and it's just a brand new baby channel that we're rebuilding. And I'm pretty proud of it, the way that it stands right now. We have very interesting, I should say. We're doing a basket of alternative coins, and let me grab the basket right now so that I can kind of tell you what names are on there. Just a moment, let me grab my Google Doc. And where we're at with it right now, we bought Pura. This is a basket that holds $10,000 worth of alternative coins that were all positioned in the 20 rank, 20 pole position or lower, meaning at the 20 to 400 pole position. And we purchased Pura, we purchased Presearch, Aventus, Library Credit, Edu, Melon, Descent, Modem, iCoin, and Game. And we've been posting just the results. Right now, we are down $1,168.22 after being up. I want to say we were up about $700 yesterday, so you can see that there's a lot of volatility. We do hold on to the basket for one full week from Sunday night to Sunday, and then we are evaluating to figure out what we could have done, when could we have taken off the current value and profited from a P&L. We don't replace any of the names, so it's 10 issues that we stay with, and we learn more about the team and the build out and all of that. It just gives us a chance to really focus on 10 names. And then Sunday night, we will choose another 10 names. And that's how we'll do it. And it works out pretty well, because you get it all down and you have to deal with the reality of your indecision and greed, of course, and time that you want to spend also with the alternative coins because they're quite intoxicating for a lot of people. But we have a pretty interesting swing of purchase prices. We have a purchase price like with the melon was $240, and the least expensive coin that we bought was 0.05, 0.05 was the Pura. And actually what's crazy is that the Pura is up $100. It goes Pura and ICX as being the two winners where price is right now. So isn't that crazy? The least expensive coin ended up actually giving us the greatest value. But a copy of that is always posted in the Discord about 3 or 4 times a day. And if you want to be made part of the team that does this, it's really cool. We are known as, where did I put us? I guess we're part of the Chart Guild. I think we're part of the Chart Guild, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a Gray Toot. You'll look for him when you're over at the Discord. He's the one that really kind of took charge and said, let's get in there, let's pick our names, let's build an Excel, let's get it done, let's do that. And so he's been a wonderful member. Okay. So this is the way that this all ends up. Hashtag make money with beauty. Hashtag there's going to be lots of cool things happening, but nothing can happen unless you hashtag. If you want a relationship with me, put it on the blockchain. It's been a great evening. Thank you very much. See you in the trade later.